All right, so I wanted to make a video of a couple projects, kind of a joint project I did. It was a Molle panel and a onboard water system that I put together. I mean, fairly simple design. This is a Pelican Molle panel made for Pelican cases. You can get it on Amazon. It was $49, I believe, when I bought it. And this pump here, here's the brand on that one. This was $39 at the time I purchased it, so under $100. Granted, you have to have some sort of water tank or water source to pump the water out of. This is the inlet hose that attaches to this side. I like to keep that cap on there just so debris and stuff doesn't get in there when I'm not using it. This is the outlet side. You got a quick connect that goes on there with a quick connect on the nozzle. I cut this nozzle or the hose down from about 25 feet. I have to look at the specs, but it was at least 25 feet. And I cut it down to about 12 or 15 feet just because it was way too long for what my intended use was. I'm gonna use this for spraying down dishes and stuff at camp, spraying down deer and other game animals when I'm hunting, all around, cleaning up around camp, cleaning kids when we're out camping, especially at the beach before they get into the tent or into the vehicle. Get some of that sand off there. And it's just nice having onboard water instead of the having to lift this heavy old jug up and pour it on things or use water bottles or whatever system we were using before. This is kind of a budget friendly deal. Again, you can do this for under $100. Most people already have a water jug, but even if you have to buy a water jug, I think that you can get the $49, $39 or whatever it was, and get some sort of cheap water jug to contain water depending on how much you actually need. This Molle panel was a rectangle shape. I cut it to fit around this here, which is on the 3rd gen 4Runners. In the later years, they had this compartment where this pops off and you can store stuff inside of it. This is the hardware that came with it. There was actually another one. Obviously, I'm not using it because I cut that corner off. And it's like a quick connect deal. I don't know if I can do it with one hand, but we'll try it out. It's fairly simple. And what's good about that is you can take this off and now your water system for the most part is portable, so it doesn't have to be inside your vehicle. If you get to camp and you want to take all this stuff out, you absolutely can. I used Quick Fist to hold my hoses in place just because I'm a real big Quick Fist fan, obviously. And it makes it super convenient, man. I can take this, set it up at a table, or I can even take it to another person's vehicle if they need to wash something down, or if you know, we just got back from hitting some service roads, some forest service roads at Davy Crockett, and we got covered in mud, and we didn't plan on doing that, man. And I got, you know, critical components I don't want mud caked into, so if we had to, we could pull over and spray some of that down or whatever you want to use water for. So I think that's pretty cool. I'm going to leave it pretty much fixed in here. I cut this little notch out to allow space for the knob, and I did the same thing on this side. Let's see if you can see it. Kind of widen that hole back here for the knob, even though it is blocked by the pump, because in the end I wanted the pump kind of level with where the hose is going to be. But let's see if we can get this in here. I got a little first aid kit mounted on there, a little Mora knife. If you don't have a Mora knife, these things are super cool. I've been using those for years when they were a lot cheaper. They've gone up in price, but very good quality knife for the price, and it makes a good camp knife. I've used it for all kinds of stuff. It's a Scandi grind, so it's not really the best in my opinion for skinning animals, but for a camp knife and all around chore knife, they do really good. There's plenty of it. I don't even need to make a video on those because there's plenty of videos of that already online. If I had two hands, that would have been easier, but see how easy that is? It's amazing. I can still take this whole panel off if I wanted to access my tools that are in there. So that's pretty cool. It's as simple as this. Take the lid off. I'm being a little too quick. Got a little water in here, but that's fine. I don't mind water getting back here. I took the carpet out. This is just the actual rug that used to go on top of the factory carpet. I took that out, and this is all just metal down here. I don't care if this gets wet. I keep plenty of towels and stuff around to dry up. If you haven't seen my video of my Jackery fits in here, you should watch that video. It's really cool. This little Jackery and all the accessories and a whole bunch of other cool stuff fit in this Harbor Freight ammo can. So shout out to JB Off-Road, rocking their upper control arms. But let's go ahead and get into this real quick. I added a couple of washers on here just to give it some weight to dive down into the tank. Take the little cover off, slide this on. It's much easier when you got two hands. Got that on, got the hose inside the water storage. Just take this out of here, super easy. You pull this to relieve the tension, put it on, and it just clicks on. Now, I'm going to take this. I zip tied it to the length I needed just for my little setup, but that's a pretty long cord. I'd say it's probably 10 feet. Plug it into the jackery, turn my jackery on, and that's simple, ready to rock and roll. What I like about this setup too is that the pump doesn't activate or turn on until you squeeze the actual nozzle. It'd help if I turn on the switch. Turn on the switch, it's gonna self-prime. Right now it just primed itself, which is a really cool feature. I've used a lot of trash pumps and when I was plumbing, trash pumps and transfer pumps, and some of them, like the old school ones, are not self-priming and you gotta fill them up with water manually, which would be a pain in the butt if I was doing that back here, because then I risk spilling water trying to handle this thing. So it's cool that it's self-priming, and that was a good demonstration of it priming itself. What I like is this the pump won't turn on until I squeeze the handle on here. Right there, I got kind of a mist mode for washing myself down or washing feet or whatever. You get a good stream. Now the pump is kind of loud. Obviously it's vibrating on plastic and all that stuff. It's bearable. It's not going to be disruptive at camp, I don't think, or anything like that. It doesn't bother me, but yeah, it's not the most quiet pump in the world. But hey, it works wonders, and for the price, you can't beat it. So let's say we were on the trail and wanted to spray some of this mud off my TRD wheels. Fairly good pressure. I wouldn't say you could wash your whole car with it. Let me adjust it a little bit, but it does pretty good. Definitely good for cleaning around camp or whatnot. And then you can make this hose a lot longer if you. It comes actually a lot longer, but I cut it down to what I thought was plenty of distance. So that's the little setup, under $100, and I don't know, man, it's working good for me. I like it so far. The Molle panel came out great. You know, I do like I think there's a couple brands that make Molle panels for over the windows, and those are cool. Eventually I will get those, but they're like $200 a piece or something, and that just wasn't in the budget right now. So for $49 for that Molle panel and a little bit of work, it worked out really good for me. And then, you know, the pump, $39. You do have to have some sort of power source. The 3rd Gen 400s have a DC port right here, so you don't have to have a jackery. You can plug it in the back of your vehicle, but you'd have to turn the ignition on unless you have it wired to where it's on at all times. So you don't have to have a jackery to make this work, but you do have to have some sort of power source. And for me, that little jackery 240 has been amazing. I use it all the time for all kinds of stuff, and for the size and how it doesn't take up much space, super convenient for all of my needs. And now I'm using it for other stuff besides charging things. Let me know what you think in the comments, like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully maybe you could take something away from it, build your own Molle panel, get a little onboard water system going or something like that. I make these videos obviously for entertainment, but also hopefully to get people like me some good ideas, and I'm open to ideas too. So hit me up in the comments, let me know what you think.